We have with us Mr. Artideb Basu, Senior Director, Analytics Hub, India and Egypt, CRIF, India. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. The first thing that I would like to know is with the RBI tightening compliance and data norms, especially for digital lending, are we striking the right balance between protecting consumers and not choking innovation?
Right. So the regulations are an important tenet of any service that you would provide, right? And typically the responsibility of preserving the customer's privacy over the data is with the lenders as well as with the credit bureau. So from the lender's perspective, as per the regulations, they are supposed to take a consent of the individual when they are eventually asking for a new loan, right? And that consent is documented with them, and that is one part of it. And the second part of it is that when their data is being pulled from the credit bureau, there is also an SMS that gets sent out, which is also as per regulations to the individual, that his data is being pulled out or her data is being pulled out. So I think there's a double layering in terms of the regulation mechanism where at least the transparency exists with the customers that their data is being leveraged to assess that whether they are credible for a new loan or not.
Great. So we had a discussion about AI in the panel, and the discussion about AI is everywhere nowadays.
Correct.
As AI becomes central, what AI use cases are core to your competitive mode, and how do you mitigate emerging Gen AI risks?
Okay. So AI, as we know, is a sexy term, and so is Gen AI in terms of the applicability across the value chain, right? Now, the applicability of Gen AI is just to make it more simple to everyone, right? So for example, if you're formulating a rule, right? And the rule could be your income must be above a particular threshold and your bureau score below a particular threshold for you to get a loan, a new line of credit, right? And typically from a lender standpoint, you would need to put it as a rule for being assessed in the right manner. So the Gen AI comes in how simplistically that rule can be formed. Imagine where you are just putting it in a prompt. I need a rule with income and bureau score to provide a new loan to a customer. And the system takes that prompt, creates the rule, executes in the system, and allows for that execution. And this is where I think Gen AI would come in, where large language models will come in order to understand and decrypt what you wrote, convert that to a code, put it into the system, and execute. And that is one part of it. The other part is that in terms of the strength of the algorithms, right? And where AI comes in terms of what we are now creating, which is the super scores in some form, where you go away from traditional scoring elements into a much more sophisticated scoring algorithms, which is very precise and product centric. For example, you cannot have the same scoring algorithm where, for example, you apply for a home loan, which is a long-term loan with a big ticket size, versus a small ticket loan. So you need to have these algorithms more trained, more product specific versus product agnostic. And that is where also machine learning is coming in to solve that problem.
Absolutely, that's very well explained, Mr. Basu. Lastly, please help me understand, with total funding down to $1.9 billion in 2024, what are founders doing differently to attract capital in a more selective investment climate, or what they should do differently?
Okay, so in the digital lending space, the amount of funding, I believe, would be fundamental to in terms of two things. How quickly can you scale? Because that gives you in terms of how quickly can you build a book, and how can you ensure the quality of the book that you're building to attract more talent, right? Now, on building the scale, you need to have your go-to-market in terms of the target segments that you're going after needs to be very properly defined. For example, you are going for, let's say, e-com players, or let's say small ticket personal loans. Do you choose Tamil Nadu or do you choose Karnataka? If you choose Tamil Nadu, which districts would you focus on? So that market discovery, I think, is very essential in order to just make sure you're targeting the right kind of customers. And that is one sense. The other element is that in terms of ensuring quality. So out of every 100 loans that you're giving, how many are going really bad on them? and how many are remaining code. And that is where the algorithms that we spoke about in terms of the machine learning algorithms, which are more product specific, needs to come in. So I think if you are able to solve both for the scale element and the quality element, I think it would have a better attractiveness of funding, and that should be, I think, the right elements for a pitch.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Basu, for answering all the questions with so much of honesty. It was an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.